Welcome to Regen.MD. My name is Dr. Gurpreet Singh Pata. If you are watching this comprehensive clinical presentation before your upcoming face-to-face consultation at our institute here in St. Louis, located at 4477 Woodson Road, specifically next to the airport, it is because you are enduring a level of physical and psychological isolation that very few individuals truly understand unless they have lived through it. Chronic shoulder pain is not merely an anatomical inconvenience. It is a slow, relentless theft of your human autonomy and the daily joys that define a meaningful life. It is the deep, toxic toothache in your joint that refuses to sleep, transforming your nights into a cyclic torment of tossing from side to side, propping your arm up with useless pillows, and staring helplessly at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning. I know the exact emotional tax this pain extracts from you. It is the sudden, searing flash of agony that shoots down your arm when you simply reach into the back seat of your vehicle, attempt to put on a winter coat, or try to embrace your spouse. It is the profound frustration of realizing you can no longer play a round of golf with your friends, cast a fishing line, or pick up and hold your young grandchildren without paying a devastating physical penalty of muscle spasms and inflammation for days afterward. You have likely spent months or even years caught on a corporate conveyor belt, bouncing between physical therapy clinics, swallowing dangerous amounts of anti-inflammatory medications, and receiving blind cortisone injections that mask your symptoms while secretly degrading your joint tissues. You are exhausted, you are skeptical, and you deserve a fiercely honest, data-driven framework that treats you as a whole person rather than an isolated widget. As a triple board-certified physician with over 30 years of active clinical experience spanning anesthesiology, interventional pain, metabolic health, and addiction medicine, I analyze musculoskeletal decay through a rigorous scientific lens. I also view this landscape as an entrepreneur with an MBA who has owned and operated dozens of healthcare entities. This unique dual background makes it impossible for me to accept the status quo of the current healthcare system. Our clinic next to the St. Louis airport was established on a rare foundational truth. Pain is not a diagnosis. It is a clear biological signal. It is an evolutionary warning light indicating that something within your body's structure, its systemic metabolism, its local cellular terrain, or its nervous system has drifted profoundly out of balance. We exist to identify that signal precisely and fix the underlying terrain that allowed your shoulder to break down in the first place. The traditional orthopedic paradigm is governed by a volume-driven insurance model that operates much like a fast food drive-through window. In this system, resource rationing is dictated not by your long-term clinical benefit, but by what maximizes quarterly profits for corporate shareholders. You are rarely treated as a human being with a life to reclaim. Instead, you are processed as a right shoulder or a superior labral tear noted on an MRI scan. This system relies on a reactive checklist of temporary patches. The most common tool deployed is the traditional corticosteroid shot. While these chemical injections can temporarily shut down your pain signaling for a few weeks, the hard longitudinal data proves they are a biological disaster. Repeated steroid exposures cause progressive cartilage destruction, inhibit local protein synthesis, and actively weaken the crucial stabilizing tendons of your shoulder. When these temporary chemical patches inevitably wear off, leaving your joint more structurally compromised than before, the assembly line dictates that you have run out of conservative options. You are then directed down the hall to a surgeon who views your shoulder purely as a mechanical construction project. Choosing biological preservation over anatomical subtraction is the only mathematically sound way to protect your long-term mobility. Let us perform a critical, evidence-based analysis of conventional shoulder surgery, specifically interventions designed to repair tears of the glenoid labrum. Labral repair surgery is routinely presented to vulnerable patients as a definitive structural cure. In reality, it represents a highly aggressive mechanical alteration that often delivers remarkably limited clinical benefit. The contrarian truth is that conventional shoulder surgery is a one-way ticket with absolutely no return option. The peer-reviewed scientific literature has completely dismantled the myth of the surgical quick fix. In a landmark, double-blind, randomized clinical trial published by Dr. Cecilia Pina Schroeder and colleagues, Researchers discovered that there were absolutely no significant clinical or statistical differences between groups receiving actual surgery versus a sham placebo procedure. The patients who received the fake surgery achieved the exact same functional trajectory and pain relief. To break completely free from this failing model, we must also confront what I define as the MRI delusion. Traditional orthopedic care relies entirely on static imaging to justify highly invasive surgeries. However, investigators discovered that over 20% of entirely healthy individuals under 40 had clear rotator cuff tears, and more than 50% over 60 demonstrated significant tears they did not even know existed. Finding a structural tear on a static MRI scan does not mean it is the true root cause. When labral repairs or rotator cuff surgeries inevitably fail, the standard medical model pushes patients toward the ultimate mechanical subtraction, total shoulder arthroplasty. However, a rigorous analysis of the longitudinal data reveals a remarkably volatile reality. A total joint replacement carries high failure rates and represents a permanent structural dead end. In a systematic review by Dr. Arjun K. Reddy, data demonstrated that the overall complication rate can reach a staggering 36%. When a surgeon implants metal stems and plastic sockets into living bone, the structural interface is subjected to relentless cyclic shear forces. Over a 10 to 20-year horizon, implant survival rates drop precipitously down to 60%, leaving nearly 40% of patients facing failure. If you commit your shoulder to metal and plastic, you are entering a high-stakes mechanical countdown, leading to permanent bone loss and irreversible injuries. This realization is precisely why we executed a complete institutional paradigm shift at Regen.MD. MD. We reject the outdated model of tissue subtraction, focusing instead on advanced biological restoration. Our modern interventional orthopedic approach aims to fix the underlying joint terrain by utilizing target-specific orthobiologics, harnessing your own localized cellular pharmacy to heal degenerative environments from the inside out. To treat chronic shoulder pain, our protocols integrate three primary biological agents: high-density platelet-rich plasma, microfragmented adipose tissue, and platelet lysate. PRP delivers a supraphysiologic concentration of growth factors, while MFAT provides a powerful autologous cellular scaffold. We deploy platelet lysate specifically around sensitive capsular tissues because it provides immediate anti-inflammatory signaling without chemical irritation. A needle placed blindly into a shoulder joint is not a medical strategy. At Regen.MD, every procedure is performed under direct, continuous, high-resolution ultrasound guidance or advanced digital fluoroscopy. We map your specific vascular, neural, and tendinous anatomy to the sub-millimeter level. This strict level of visualization ensures that our cellular repair agents are deployed exactly into the microscopic site of breakdown. We refuse to treat your joint in a structural vacuum. We optimize your internal biochemistry. This is why our signature clinical protocol includes a mandatory comprehensive metabolic screening. We analyze your complete blood count, HbA1c, and hormone profiles. We possess the data that 14 vital peptides were returned to Category 1 status as of February 2026, ensuring you have the physiological tools necessary for a durable healing response. I believe in being fiercely honest. I refuse to sugarcoat the clinical reality. Healing is a complex, nature-paced biological process, not a fast commercial transaction. Biologics require a realistic timeline to properly signal, recruit local cells, and remodel tissue. Those patients who respect the cellular timeline and execute proper biomechanical rehabilitation become our greatest, most inspiring success stories. When you step into our clinic at 4477 Woodson Road, you are taking back your medical autonomy. We are here to provide the precise imaging, the deep metabolic analytics, and the advanced cellular protocols required to fix your underlying terrain permanently. Let us look past the quick fixes, respect the cellular science, and work together to get your life back. I look forward to meeting you in person during our upcoming clinical consultation.